Et bonjour à toutes et à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Attendez, je prends la manette. Tac. Est-ce que la manette elle est assez chargée? Attendez. Ouais, elle n'est pas déchargée de beaucoup. Et du coup, on va continuer l'enquête sur Noir. Il m'a changé encore le truc. Ça me fait de la merde. Hein. Oh! On va continuer Eleanor. Ah merde, la caméra, c'est vrai, je l'ai enlevée hier. Tac. Tac. Et c'est parti. Ah, il met 10 ans à se connecter à chaque fois. J'ai mal de crâne, laisse tomber. C'est parti! C'est 2011 le jeu quand même. C'est la conduite qui est casse-couille dans le jeu. Il est sorti après GTA 4 du coup. Si je me souviens bien. Et voilà, c'est arrêté ici. Ça on l'a vu hier, on l'a vu.
Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case.
Parker,
Ray Pinker will let us know in good time.
It's him, the cop from the newspapers.
We keep locking them up, but the bodies keep piling up.
Yeah, Californians love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there are always good killers in this town.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it gonna stop? You can drive. First the letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests on your record are giving you a reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows maketh the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make first base.
La même chose, les mêmes le.
Detectives,
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death.
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
There appears to be a dry cleaning label. Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
C'est la tête, c'est pas le coup. Ah, mais c'est. Oh.
Circumstantial. Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same. No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment. Superior Laundry Services, 1260 West 1st Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks.
This isn't what we're looking for.
Anyone jumps the rope, I'll blitz him. Don't worry.
Not now, Phelps.
Can you keep things under control until Pinker and Carruthers finish up?
Sure, Detective. We'll stay out of their way. Goddamn captain's making me resubmit the paperwork.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine, gentlemen. No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. The last bodies had something written. This one didn't.
I'm failing to follow you.
Can't be the same guys, what I'm saying, right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are more factors to consider than the messages, Rusty.
This doesn't fit your pattern, Cole. End of conversation. Understand? At least the rain stopped. You can change back into those white bucks now.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. We're investigating a case, and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street, Westlake. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. Nordic types show a particular disposition for this stuff.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Tarleton? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Tarleton?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Tarleton, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
It's
that...
procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Tarleton? Let him search. You got nothing to hide. Want to hear something funny, Tarleton? Some bums think filling out a missing persons report actually rules them out as a suspect.
Need to check if she was a regular.
I wonder why the picture was turned down. I don't think so.
Il porte la chose toute seule.
Probably nothing. I doubt it. Baron's bar again. Someone must be real sweet on this dive.
If you'd excuse me, ladies.
Doesn't look like anything.
So she went out without her handbag? At least she was spared that particular indignity. She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind. Lars was out in the rain last night.
Don't think this is anything.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Ça, mon corps, Tony. Mais tu sais ce que c'est, là? C'est les tapis qui puent. Bougez là tout de suite.
Top of my class back east. Now I'm waiting
Phelps,
tables.
1247.
How can I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thanks for your help.
His mother would be proud of him catching all those criminals.
For the record, Mr. Tarleton, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right. Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night, she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. A bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Baron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Mr. Tarleton, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
But not last night.
She wanted to go dancing. I wanted to stay at the party.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
In sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, Lars.
And you're the perfect husband, I suppose.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
So you don't know anyone who would want her dead?
No, I don't.
If Bobby Ross doesn't confirm your story, we are going to come back here and pick you up. This doesn't look good, Lars. I'll be out of your way momentarily, ladies. We can see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene.
Sounds like the Carlson crowd had her last drink at Baron's Bar. We should check the place out.
I can't believe Teresa's dead.
Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true. You know the way. You can drive.
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, I guess we ought.
Salut Farmer, ça va?
Always Bob. I fought. Where's my wife? Nobody cares about me. I took
We're looking for a tall man with a disfigured face. You know him?
Huh? What?
I fought in coup wars, you know, son. I think I earned some peace and quiet.
The bum isn't here.
Look at these people.
We should follow the lead. These guys can wait.
How come the cops can't ignore us the same way the government does?
Calling you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Hey, that's that cop. Seems like a decent guy.
Slow down! Can't we talk about this? Are you drunk, mister? Or are you just crap?
Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car? That's the cop who caught her. When is America going to understand? It's not about getting, it's about giving.
You're behind the wheel.
Ouais, ça va, ça va. Le micro il est activé déjà ou pas? Des fois il est désactif, je sais pas pourquoi.
Thousands watch the ceremony.
Gents, drink? Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Terrellson? Yes, it is. I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it. You know, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out. If you don't mind, we have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave? Around 10:30, I think. On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it? She called for a cab. Did you get the number?
I'll bring your coffee.
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
You've never served him?
Not a chance. By the sound of it, he's the type of bum you send packing right when he walks through the door.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
Any of your regulars know the broad?
Ask him yourself.
LAPD, keep your seats, boys. This won't take a second. Can't let the son of a bitch get away.
Il y en a qui se barrent.
LAPD, what are you running from, sir?
Come on, got a ride. Get in and drive.
No time to wait, Rusty. He's the killer. He gets away.
Je l'ai perdu. Oh.
God damn it, get after him, Cole. I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine. Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. Now is not the time to play around, Phelps.
All right, you got me. I've had enough.
Show me your hands.
Moi, j'ai pris une voiture qui passait.
Name. Richard Bates. What is it you want?
I'll ask the questions. Firstly, why did you run?
I don't mix with cops if I can help it.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead, and your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your Salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man. Thanks, ma'am.
Vous m'entendez les gens? J'ai l'impression que vous m'entendez pas. Attendez. Je vais voir le Discord. Le OBS. J'ai l'impression que vous m'entendez pas là. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Non, on m'entend pas. Je suis bizarre. Zarbi ça.
Can you drive to this one?
That's the cop from the newspapers.
And the hey, no.
Mouthpiece sort of stripped off me at the grand jury.
He's in interview too.
Now the DA
Thanks.
wants my head.
What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
I was door knocking all morning, but I got a make on the car in the end.
L'interrogatoire 2, elle est où? Je m'en rappelle plus. C'est la 1.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence. He was in the bathtub. And he'd taken one of his fingers.
La 2, je sais pas où elle est.
Sirs?
En haut. En haut.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning. You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrellson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back in the tub. He had all the time in the world to look for some action. I belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup. You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrellson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
And you started talking.
She looked good in her green dress. Up close, she was a little older than I thought, but like I said, I only had a 24-hour pass.
If your story doesn't check out, Jessup, we're hanging you out to dry. Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective.
Ah, j'ai 1 sur 2, fait chier.
Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks.
Daddy wanted that. So I gave him a dust.
You drive. You go over the case notes.
C'est parti. Et bonjour à toutes et à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien.
3 suspects in the can, 1 on the hook. Still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Only have time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
KGPL, we have Lars Terrellson picked up.
11K, roger.
LAPD, we'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
Need you to stay copacetic. You need to hold out.
How do we do that?
Buckshot down.
If you want your rightful share,
Killing
we need
make
to
you feel
fight for
powerful.
it.
Filthy hands off.
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
Je sais pas qui est le suspect du coup.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it and see what you find.
Still working, Jack. I'm off to the Lighthouse Club in Santa Monica.
Hello, Jack. Mr. Benson, this is Courtney Sheldon. He's a buddy of mine from the war.
Well, I'm sure you two will want to polish some old war stories. Good evening, Jack. Mr. Sheldon.
Good night, sir. Take a seat, Courtney.
We need your help, Jack.
I told you I would have nothing to do with that.
I'm fine too, Jack. Medical school's going well. I got a part-time job.
Do dope peddlers need part-time jobs?
We made a mistake and we're in trouble, Jack. A local gangster, Mickey Cohen, is putting on the squeeze.
So hand it over, walk away. What's stopping you?
We had a deal with them that they would dole it out slowly. They said they would supply abortion clinics and doctors, but they've been moving it on to addicts, and they can't cope with the purity.
So your problem is with gangsters being dishonest.
My problem is that people are dying, and that if this gets back to us, we'll all end up in jail.
So how am I supposed to help, Courtney? This isn't the war. I can't just wave a magic wand and clean up your mess.
We want you to negotiate, Jack.
The only thing these guys understand is force, Sheldon. They got to the top back east by proving to be more vicious than the English, the Irish, and the Dutch. They make their own laws. That's the nature of a secret society. God's sake, Courtney, you want to be a doctor. How can you fight with that?
We are better trained, Jack.
I didn't make it through the war to come back to this kind of shit, Sheldon.
Are you drunk, mister? Or are you just cracked?
Bah. Ah bah tiens. Ça correspond en plus.
Looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terreldson's chin. Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer.
Talk about this.
That's the cop in the newspaper.
You can drive.
Je laisse conduire à chaque fois, c'est bon. Allez, pécho. L'enquête à boucler.
The husband has an alibi, but no real motive other than neglect. Jessup's alibi checks out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same stick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession to charge the bum with murder. We're going this way.
Hey, you think those Vice boys get any on the side?
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrellson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
You hate women, Ackerman?
More than you could ever imagine.
How much did you hate Mrs. Terrellson?
I ache to put my seed in them. Afterwards, I have no use for them.
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrellson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Teresa Terrellson will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
Exemplaire, putain.
And now my heart's a blazing ruin. You say that you were only fooling. Don't walk away. Don't do me wrong. Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
I want to make comments. You know you know.
Another body and Deirdre Muller's ring. The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
Exactly did you get that book of riddles shoved up your ass, Phelps? Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
I'm thinking of
You're
moving
behind
up
the
to
wheel.
45. I want to stop him with one.
Oui, Opérateur s'engage.
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sake.
And he always maintained he was set up.
How can I help you boys?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. You feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure.
Le même meurtre.
Medium height, medium build, dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner. You know the way. You can drive. We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Perp is having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letter. The Dahlia letters are genuine. The man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Mullen.
And how do we prove that, though? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
Bon, je laisse comme ça les gens, donc j'ai les cinématiques là.
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak to the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
C'était des fachos à cette époque, laisse tomber. Ça, par contre, ça faut que je regarde avant. Ah.
This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
Mais on vient de regarder. Ah putain. Il va me faire relire. Oh putain.
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her. We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's gonna be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Someone was trying to get her to come home.
Hey, can you give me a hand? I got a hard case I need to break.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Blood splatter on the carriage. She must have been struck while standing up.
Smell?
Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
Well, the autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Ah bah.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shunting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your details?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
If you want a full report, you have to let me work.
Nice day, gentlemen.
I'm stumped. Ideas? Looks like we might actually have a couple of witnesses this time. Get their statements.
What are you thinking, Ray?
The city keeps tossing us dead bodies. We're just running to catch up.
No good to me.
My job is to secure the crime scene. You need to review the evidence and speak to the witnesses.
L'arme du crime, elle est pas là. Bizarre.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor. Closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thank you.
Can you drive to this one?
You read that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that.
These people are starving. They can't do that.
They want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers? What is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, Detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
But nothing reprehensible.
No. The odd parking ticket. That kind of thing.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No. I was at home. Writing.
Do you want to get dragged into this, McCaffrey? Do you want us to get interested in you?
She hung out with this powder puff, James Tiernan. They haunted the public library together.
How well do you know James Tiernan?
I know he works some kind of plebeian job at Rawlings Bowling Alley.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
Ok. On a fait l'autre tu vas faire. Scène de crime, faut qu'on y retourne.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day, and it's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
I meant as a suspect, Rusty.
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
That's a pretty girl dressed in that nurse's aide uniform. You know who she looks like?
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. You know, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store, that was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
Ah, observé en détail, j'ai pas eu.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey. She wasn't always such a loner.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
What now?
Question the owner. He must know something.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
She talked about McCaffrey.
Supposedly he fought in the International Brigade in Spain and in the miners' strikes back in Virginia.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit to pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow.
C'est chaud la cordie là.
To be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem.
Mr.
Hey,
Robbins.
I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
It doesn't make any difference how thin you slice it, it's still classy.
You can drive.
Car 11K, car 11K, come in. Car 11K, car 11K, KGPL.
11 King.
A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central. Go to.
11 King, en route. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
Pandora brand toilet soap.
I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all's fair in love and war.
That's that cop. Seems like a decent guy.
My sister's always been lucky when it comes to her. Let me guess. You're lost in my...
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick, but she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And to follow up on Evelyn Summers, I want daily reports.
I want to make comments.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
The early bird gets the worm. Second mouse.
You wait. 5 years from now, all our jobs will be done by robots.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks for your help.
Are you drunk, mister? Or are you just cracked?
You're behind the wheel.
I think we bust in there and find the goddamn.
Let me pose a question.
Depends. What's it got to do with it?
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Hello, Rusty. Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Phelps. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence. You got a guy works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters, go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
This is a tasty burger.
Tiernan, LAPD! There!
What are you waiting for? Get after it!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck. Another runner. At least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to land.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means. Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. Going through the square.
Hope the people see him in time to get out of the way. What if they run because someone's setting them up? Because they feel like the deck is stacked against them?
I don't make up ridiculous stories for them, detective. Leave that to the perp's imagination. That is the end of that. It's about fucking time.
Give it up, LAPD! Can you drive to this one?
Pas faut retourner au central. Il y a un truc.
McCaffrey is in apartment 6.
Doesn't appear to be connected. This doesn't pertain to the case.
Torn from the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene. He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers
On
argue
sait qui
his
c'est
way out
le
of this.
meurtrier du coup. On sait qui c'est.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in
We're
here?
from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
That's the guy from the papers. Solved that big case.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk. Son of a bitch. We'll get our wheels. You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight. Give it up, LAPD. Don't make me chase you. Lock him up. Throw away the key.
Can't we talk about this?
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. So was that Dahlia fuck.
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the development?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young Phelps.
That bum took a swipe at me. Put him down in my sap.
Parker or Brown?
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
And you have someone who can corroborate your story?
Unfortunately, no.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her. Doesn't look good, Grosvenor. It's either you or Tiernan from where we're sitting. Personally, I think Evelyn is better off, but I had nothing to do with it. It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor. Make it stick, Detective. The party has good lawyers.
Guy gave his wife a tap. I'd say all's fair in love and war.
La 2, elle est où la salle 2?
Isn't he a cop who won the medal and is solving all the cases?
Ah, elle est où la salle 2? Ah, c'est pas, voilà.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. And he had nothing but vitriol for her.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
We use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
How long is this going to take? Is anybody making coffee soon? No entiendo.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Come on, Tiernan. Either you killed her or she left the hotel. Why did she leave?
Look, I may have yelled at her. I was very drunk. It's hard to remember.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. A big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
This is your idea, correct?
You think the Vice Boys get any on the side?
A picture of your car? That's correct. You trying to set me down?
You think those Vice Boys get any on the side?
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey. You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
Il a pas tort.
So you're telling me you were set up? That's my conclusion.
Parker or Green? I don't know who'd be worse.
Can you identify the man in this?
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks, ma'am. You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge? No man should be without history, Detective.
Le casier, ah
Mine
oui,
is
merde.
colorful, but nothing more.
Ah, on recommence. Merde, on va recommencer.
I want to make homicide. You know you made it.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, Detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there? You're going to have to do better than that, Detective.
Oh.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Doesn't look good, Grosvenor. It's either you or Tiernan from where we're sitting.
Personally, I think Evelyn is better off, but I had nothing to do with it.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Incorrect.
Make it stick, Detective. The party has good lawyers.
Mais je sais pas, j'ai mis le bout machin, ça ne marche pas. Bon, on va le refaire. Casier, tu dis? Ah non, mais il faut refaire l'autre. C'est l'autre qu'il fallait faire avant. Oh putain. Je sais jamais où c'est, je me rappelle plus à chaque fois. La salle 1, elle est où? Putain, elle est où la salle 1? Ah, ça m'énerve, quand je me rappelle plus sur un jeu, je trouve plus le... Ah, c'est la 2, ça. La 1, je la trouve plus.
Wrinkled was not one of the things I wanted to be when I grew
Je
up.
trouve plus la 1, ça m'énerve. Là.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Evelyn was beaten to death with a lug wrench. We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
You see? It was McCaffrey. He had nothing but hatred for me and Evelyn.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute, but, you know, I'm not so sure.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Doute.
If you don't give me some reason to think differently about this, Tiernan, I'm gonna have to go to the DA.
I drank half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Has anyone seen my cat? Où le téléphone, je le trouve pas. Ah non.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks.
That bum took a swipe at me. I put him down with my sap.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
Le casier.
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge. Beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore. She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have.
You beat her because she stole from you. Because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Ben voilà. Inculpé, c'est lui.
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys. You bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot in the prison graveyard.
Voilà. DJ. Merci pour l'info. exemplaire, nickel. Nickel. Nickel.
We have lost most of Shaughnessy and Dunn's squad. The gunny is dead, first platoon is in worse shape. That medic is either crazy or the bravest man alive.
Then we rally with the first and try for the Nambus.
It's sheer to the left. To the right, it goes right through a pass with 2 Nambus and enfilade.
Mate,
we can lose everyone.
Lieutenant! Get back off this fucking bridge! They'll start walking the mortars back to their own positions. We only have minutes. I'm in charge here, Sergeant. Get your men off the bridge, Lieutenant. What's your unit, Sergeant? We don't have time for this, Lieutenant. What's your unit, Sergeant? I company 22nd Marines, Lieutenant, and we just saved your ass by fording the river. My orders are to reconnoiter the... I think that point is now moot. You have 10 men left. My orders are to save what's left. Move out!
Move out. Sous une lune meurtrière.
Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline like the previous letters, so I can't lift a print.
This is no battle of wits between you and me. I never pick on an unarmed man.
No one else but the killer knew about this message.
Top of my class back east. Now I'm waiting tables.
Suffer woes, which hope thinks infinite. Forgive wrongs darker than death or night.
Shit. Encore un cadavre.
Where the hell are you going? You're kind of in the middle of something here.
Find the goddamn message.
Another snippet from the Shelley poem. If the note is from the Dahlia maniac, he definitely also killed Teresa Terrellson.
Mal and I agree.
But where does that leave us? If this is the Dahlia killer, and he is responsible for the Tarrelson murder, not to mention the Muller
Hang
case.
on a moment, Skipper.
Let me finish, Rusty. We have 5 birds in hand and none in the bush. The department will not survive a scandal if we have to let them all go without catching a fiend first. Your careers will be over for a start, gentlemen.
Looking in wonder.
Ah, fuck it. I knew this run was too good to be true.
I hid myself within a fountain in the public square.
You like that stuff? What is it supposed to mean?
It's supposed to... Forget what it's supposed to... What does he want it
Where are you going with this, Cole?
He's obviously taunting us. He believes he's far more intelligent than we are.
Okay, it's some kind of story, right? A guy that God hates, chains him up.
It's an allegory, Rusty.
A what? Story with 2 meanings. A symbolic meaning. But that's what he wants us to think.
Could he be using it literally? Within a fountain in a public square? Could it be that easy?
Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on?
The fountain in Pershing Square. Come on, we have a clue. Captain, thanks, Ray.
Be careful, Phelps. This is his game you're playing now.
La fontaine. Ok.
I need a drink. I got these goddamn
I understand you, but thousands wouldn't. He's a waste of the police force. Good-looking boy like that should go into politics.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
straight through the red light. Said she never saw it. The bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my saddle.
You're behind the wheel.
Hey, il prend le volant. Allez, on y va.
All those cases, Rusty. What have I been telling you all along?
We gotta get this guy.
I know. Enough women have died.
Yeah, and it's our asses on the line too, Phelps. You heard what the captain said. The department is not gonna take responsibility for all those bad convictions.
Success is a double-edged sword.
Let's just get this sick pervert and have it done with.
Rather you than me, Phelps. You know the local hobos use that as a latrine.
All overgrown with trailing, odorous plants which curtain out the day. Where next? Elizabeth Short. Betty Short. Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short's Social Security card.
Jesus Christ.
That's not all. There's another stanza from Shelley.
Can you work it out? Got a city map? See if you can work out where he's taking us. I don't like this freak leading us around by the nose.
La carte principale, mais c'est où ça? Je comprends rien. C'est du véhicule, on s'en fout. Faire quoi là, je comprends pas. Faut que j'aille où là? Je comprends rien. Bon. Je comprends pas.
He just refuses to accompany me to church.
J'ai raté un truc.
Does the chicken come with fried tomatoes?
He's a waste.
Wants a five-star goddamn wedding. Wow, that was something.
it all fiction paper. What's that case for the lady cut up like a dahlia?
Mais la carte, j'ai pas compris là. La carte de quoi? La carte, je fais quoi avec la carte? Je fais rien. Voilà, franchement.
Nice thing about egotism.
Roy has socks on.
Oh, Susie, you are so bad.
What do you think?
How many caves are full of flowers in L.A.? Maybe it's a painting that looks like that.
Where's that goddamn weight?
Tableau. Ça m'avance pas, hein.
Does the chicken come with fried tomatoes?
Bah, déchiffrer le deuxième extrait, je fais quoi depuis tout à l'heure? Je me touche la teub? Oh, oh, oh.
Talking about on the radio? Another conversation?
J'ai rien capté. C'est une énigme, mais j'ai rien compris. Tout ce que je fais, c'est tourner en rond. Je peux pas rien faire de plus. Je sais pas.
Did you read about the Carrollton case in the paper? What's the detective?
Ça m'avance à rien là. J'en sais rien du tout là. Ah mais on y est déjà, mais il faut faire quoi là? Ah ça me gave là. Ah par contre là ça va me saouler. Je vais péter une jurite là.
I just don't know how to dance the bebop.
Je porte pas les énigmes sur le jeu là. Ah c'est bon, on arrête là, ça m'a saoulé, c'est bon. Allez, on verra plus tard, c'est bon. Ah ça m'a saoulé, c'est bon, j'en ai marre. C'est bon, je me prends la tête, c'est pas la peine. On va arrêter là, on va faire un autre jeu, c'est bon. C'est bon que je me prends la tête, c'est pas la peine. C'est pour que je me prends la tête, c'est pas la peine, on va changer de jeu. Attends, je coupe et je relance.